Hello, today we're going to go over some basic editing information. For most of this, we're going to be looking at the View tab, which is, if you go across the top of the ribbon, it's almost at the very end of the tabs. You will notice a whole bunch of other options appear. You can change your view under the first grouping in the View tab. It defaults to print layout. That's what most people use the majority of the time, because that shows them what their document will look like when they actually print it. You have the read view. The read view will make your print larger and easier to understand. If you have more than one page, it'll let you toggle through the pages with arrow keys on either side, kind of like you're reading a book. It'll let you know when you come to the end of the document. You have web layout, which just makes it look like a web page. Outline, which outlines what's your document, and it depends on the different sections you've created. It's used basically to create or edit an outline. You also have a draft view, which is used specifically for editing. It won't show you any pictures. It won't show you objects. It'll just show you the text. Notice how all the pictures disappeared from this document. It's mainly for editing. The next thing I want you to notice is you have Show. This allows you to show or hide certain things on the screen. Most people, this screen looks like this. I personally like to use the rulers. The rulers are a great way to manually change your margins if you decide you want to do something different. If you want to add indents. The ruler allows you to see where things line up on your document, kind of estimate where things are, but it also allows you to change your margins and your tabs. You also have grid lines. Grid lines make your paper look like a graph paper. They are great when it comes to adding pictures. If you're trying to line things up, the grid lines help you out. Most people don't use the grid lines unless they are trying to align different objects on the paper. Finally, you have a navigation pane. If you click on the different headings, it takes you to that section. You can also look at thumbnails. If you have multiple page documents, this will help you to get to the page you want to work on. The other thing you have is a search tool. The next group on the View tab is Zoom. Okay, 100% puts your document automatically at 100%. You can look at one page. You can look at multiple pages. You can adjust your zoom by going higher, lower. You can manually make your print bigger if you need to. And then if you click the 100%, it brings you back so it looks like it would look if you printed it. You also have a many pages. It'll let you look at multiple pages at the same time. You can choose which pages you want to look at. Arrange all. It'll put all the windows you have open on your screen. So if you're using multiple documents, you can have multiple documents over. You click the maximize, you go back to your document. If you want to split the screen so you can see different parts of your document at the same time and compare them, you can do so. And just to go over a few basic terms, if you look over on your right side, you have the scroll button, which is the little arrows on either side, the scroll bar, which is the entire thing up and down, and the scroll box, which is the little thing you can drag up and down to move through your document, especially if it has multiple pages. Okay, we are going back to the View page and navigation pane because I want to show you one other thing. You have a search on here. You can get to the same thing from the Home tab, which is the Find and the Replace. We're going to do this now through the navigation pane. On the navigation pane, you will notice next to the little magnifying glass, there's a down arrow. It gives you options. You can use your Replace here. You can go to, if you know there's a specific word or section you want to go to, you can use that. but we're going to go to the options. On the options, you can click Use Wildcard. Wildcard means that you are using characters to find certain words that you may not be 100% sure either you spelled correctly, you're not sure exactly the word you're looking for, but you're looking for specific letters or letter combinations. The two main wildcards are the asterisk, which is found above your number 8 on the top of your keyboard, or the question mark. If you type in the letter combination, put an asterisk, and then hit search. If you look, every time that letter combination came up, and we've got 1 out of 991 times, whether there's a letter in between it or multiple letters in between it, it finds it. That's a wild card. If you're not sure you spelled something correctly, you can put the asterisk in and put it in between the two letters for the word, two of the letters of the word you're searching for, and it'll help you find those words. If you go to replace, now I would not recommend using a replace all. You can type in what you want to replace it, find next, and it'll take you through all the places. This would take a long time, but you can use the wildcard to find and fix spelling errors if you've made a consistent error throughout the thing. A quick reminder, when you're in Find and Replace, remember the More button and the Format button let you change colors and let you make a lot of different changes. That was shown to you on the last video if you need to go over it. Another thing to remember when you're editing, when you want to highlight something, the other thing I want to show you when it comes to editing, you know you can put your I-beam at the beginning of the word, left click and drag and highlight as much or as little as you want. But there is something else you can do. Once you've highlighted it, if you hold this control key, the CTRL, and you move to a different line, while you're holding the control key, you can use the left mouse button to click and drag over different sections. If I wanted all this to be bold, let's say I wanted to bold the first word of every area, I can go, first thing I can do is I can double click before the word, but if I do that before each word, it's just going to move it. So if I hold the control key down while I'm using the left mouse button and dragging, I can select multiple words and bold or change them. And it'll change those words the way I want, whatever I've got highlighted. So if you're trying to edit multiple text at the same time, you can do that. The final thing I want to go over today is document properties. You'll go to File, and then you'll see Properties. In here it'll have information. You can make changes here, but you also can click Properties, and it'll show you the Properties panel. It'll show you where the location of the file is. It'll show you who the author is. You can add titles, subjects, keywords, categories, and comments here. And you can add to any of these boxes. You can change the author. Once you do that, you click X. You'll notice if you go back to File, it's changed the comments here. I could also add it in here.